May I Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new here, well, isn't this quite the video for you to have clicked on? It's the last video of 2021. It is also the last video of a project I've been working on all December. For the month of December, have tried to use every piece of makeup I own in the 31 days of December. How the project works is that every time I would use an item of makeup, I would put it in a box, and then I could not remove it from that box until I've cycled through all of the things in that category. So for example, I have about 5 bronzers. Once I used all 5 bronzers, I pulled them back and they were cycled through again. This was an effort for me to get to know my makeup collection a little bit better because I felt like I didn't really have a grasp on it. And, you know, we're on the last day of the project, so you can assume that, like, it's a little bit old hat to both me and my regular subscribers. So my channel is typically, whenever we're not in December, really focused on loving my collection as it currently is, which is, this project was that. Being critical of new makeup releases, which we are going to start doing again in January, which I'm so excited for, and being very particular with what we're bringing into our collection moving forward. So I'm also on a no-buy, and that ends today. Well, tomorrow, I'll be able to buy stuff. Tomorrow when you're seeing this, tomorrow when this goes live, I'll be able to purchase again. So that's all the things. So if any of that stuff that I just mentioned sounds exciting for you and you want to follow me into 2022, I would love to have you subscribe. I would really appreciate if you would like this video. It helps me in the algorithm. And I'm also on Patreon if you want to support me there. Hey babes, we made it. I'm so glad you made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. Still the one that I love. We did it. We're on the 31st day of Messmas. Here we are, baby. 1 palette left. We already know that I failed the challenge. We already know that I had to remove things to make this happen, but the drawers are barren. So there's just makeup kind of all around me right now. And I'm excited. Should we just get started? I guess that's probably what we should do. I forgot to prime my eyes beforehand, which is something that I have been meaning to do before every video. Like, I think I might even do that into the future, but let's start putting on. So I don't know if you clocked this, but the opening was kind of just like a little self-reflection of the year 2021 for me. This has been such a year. It makes me feel some kind of way. A boss I had, and she's a friend of mine now, but she taught me the phrase some kind of way. It makes me feel some kind of way. And I love it because it was often whenever my friend would use that with me, it was often in a negative connotation. But I think what's perfect for me to sum up 2021, I feel some kind of way about it because I had some extremely high highs, especially here on YouTube. But my personal life was tough stuff, and just the world outside of what's going on with me, it's just been yikes. So I feel like feeling some kind of way is the perfect way to sum things up. Let's reflect. Let's just do a little reflection. I mean, that's what everyone's last video of the year is supposed to be, right? I guess I can talk about it while I'm putting on makeup today, but I also might reflect more as I go on. So let's talk about YouTube. Let's talk about what happened on this platform this year. I started posting back in 2017. And I did it with fervor when I first started, and then it kind of became few and far between, and I would think that I would come back. I thought I was gonna have a comeback moment, and then I would disappear again and come back and disappear. This year was the first year with intent, coming into 2021, I was this is what I wanna do. And it all kind of ricocheted off of me knowing that I was leaving Sephora. Before we start diving into all that, today I'll be using the Muerte palette from Melt. This is what it looks like. I have intentions on what I think I'm gonna do, and we will see if that comes to fruition, but I probably won't be talking too much about this. Here's Judy's, my good Judes out there. The thing with this palette is it's so intensely beautiful, but it's one of those things where it's I never use it, but it's so beautiful when I do. But I actually have used it more times than I thought I probably would have this year. Like, that's definitely a thing that has happened. Okay, I'm just gonna start working on this. I'm going to be, like, it's gonna be a little more free flowing. It's gonna be less about the product because we are in the last one. Also, this is the only thing that I haven't really touched here. My idea is I'm gonna do like my normal top eye whenever I do like that look that I really like with the reds and gradient the reds up until the crease, and then do like a clean break, and then on the lower lash line we will do the same thing with the blue but on a smaller scale going down, if that makes sense. That's my vision. So we're gonna have to do the steps a little bit weirdly today because it'll be like I will do my eyeshadow and then I will go to complexion and then I will come back and finish the eyeshadow on the lower lash line. But that's how I envision today going. So I'll be starting with the red shades on the top. But I just wanted to keep you a little posted, keep you a little, so you kind of knew what the plan was. Here's why I ended up posting so much on YouTube this year. When I was working at Sephora, I was starting to hate beauty. Not like hate it, but I had fallen out of love with it. And that felt kind of wrong to me. But like, while it made me fall out of love with Sephora, it was the one thing keeping me in beauty. And when I had decided to leave, I knew I needed something to motivate me to continue feeling and seeing myself in beauty. And I thought that would be a perfect time to reboot my channel in a real way. In a way where I was like trying, and in a way where I was like very intent on growing and making community here. And that was like, I knew that's what I wanted to do. So like it started with like my little declutter series and collection at the beginning of 2021, where I like went through drawer by drawer, and those really weirdly got a lot of views. I know that people really love that kind of stuff at the beginning of the year, so I think that was just kind of like luck of the draw. Like, oh, I just happened to post the right content at the right time. And then from there I started posting just like more regularly. I had a bunch of friends come on the channel, and then as you saw, so I guess it's plausible that people have found me since Hannah posted recommended me to her viewers, to her subscribership. So if you found me like naturally, organically through the algorithm somehow, and you didn't know this, in late September, Hannah Louise posted, and I will post her channel, link to her channel down below in case you don't know about Hannah Louise posted. She's a creator that I was already watching and enjoying prior to this, but she had about 40,000 subscribers when this had occurred. She recommended my channel to her viewers, and then my subscribers doubled. Now, I'm very well aware I'm still small potatoes, but that was like, that moment made me feel like, oh my God, like I can do YouTube in a way where it's going to start feeling like more fulfilling, and it has from that point on. That was like a really good reaffirming of something that like I kind of like already really knew in my heart of hearts, that like there is a space for me on this platform that I will find in time. And it just like, it started happening this year, and that was really quite wonderful. And from there, I've had just like, not that I didn't have a wonderful support system like throughout the year, because I'm going to shout out some channels now that like have been a very wonderful support system to me, and I'm like pre-HLP's shout out. So the Beauty Beatdown, Kristen at the Beauty Beatdown, we bonded and became friends, and I have talked about her throughout the messmas series, but her channel is devoted to beauty, and she's also into wrestling, and she is creating basically what her little quarter of the internet is about, creating a safe space for women and LGBTQIA people to have a touch point for wrestling that is safe. And so she shares like she shares videos because she goes up to a bunch of like wrestling, I guess, matches. And so she shares that content as well as makeup. And she only has a month left, but she is 39. She's going to turn 40 in February. She's been posting every day this year. So while I've been doing messmas and feeling burnt, I'm not feeling completely burnt out, but like certainly feeling. Kristen has been doing this the whole damn year. And shout out to her because it is tough stuff. Anyway, so go check out Kristen if you've not come across her channel before. And she was like such an amazing support system to me and like made me feel really good about what I was doing on my channel. And so her, and then also Fatally Flawed Ash, they have a really amazing channel. Their artistry is like unparalleled. They do some of the most stellar looks. They're very talented. And they focus much more on like indie brands and smaller releases, like, and so if you're looking for that kind of thing, they are who you should be seeking out, mama. They are doing that. But I really love it when they really do like really intense looks. And we all kind of, you know, have been support systems for each other like the whole year. So I just really I want to shout them out because like they are also really amazing creators, but also they've been very supportive. And Jenny, she posts sometimes, but not a lot. I don't know if she would like want me shouting out her channel. I will link her down below because she does have a channel. She doesn't post super often. She found my channel this year and she would comment on a lot of my videos, and she was such a great support system. So if I didn't have these people before like the HLP shout out, I definitely probably would have given up a lot sooner. But I also gonna pat myself on the back. I know that I am creating content that is worth seeing because I am creating the kind of content I want to see on this platform. Visibly queer content. I'm not saying that anyone else on this platform, I'm not saying that they are more or less visibly queer than I am, but also enjoying luxury makeup in a way that it's gonna feel safe, you know? Luxury makeup, like, you know, and I don't know. I have been told a couple of times by subscribers in the comments that my channel makes them feel like it feels like I have just like the weirdest eyebrows on right now. They've said that my channel makes them feel like warm and cozy and it feels like a safe space for them, and I only want that trajectory to continue. Like I only want to continue in that bubble because that's what I want to do here on this platform, and I'm succeeding. Next year with my channel, I hope to continue to grow in a sustainable way and meet new subscribers and meet other people on this platform that I vibe with, right? That's like that's the main dream. Before I keep talking too much, I'm going to go back into my MAC paint pot in which I primed my eyes with, and I'm going to actually like cut this clean, which I actually don't normally do with this eye shape. But for my vision, I need a clean cut. To all of the amazing subscribers who did take a chance on me because of Hannah Louise Poston's recommendation of me, thank you for checking me out. Not only checking me out, but sticking around and giving me the time and space to show you what I do. Because I as someone who is a YouTube viewer, I know that watching new people on the platform can be annoying, right? Like it's hard to find new people. And I'm just so grateful that I am one of your people, like one of the people that you want to continue watching and supporting on the platform. That also means the world to me. And also, again, I've thanked her so many times, but I will never be able to thank her enough. I'm thankful for Hannah believing in my content enough to recommend it to her people, the people who trust her with her recommendations. Like that means a lot, right? Like it shouldn't be taken lightly when someone makes a recommendation of a person's platform. Like I don't take that lightly. So I'm grateful for what happened on this platform. More end of the year things. So I actually, this year, one of my goals, and this has nothing to do with YouTube, I am like, I really love vinyl records, but I will buy them sometimes, but this year, one of my goals, this was so funny. This is like such a weird thing that I was like, I want this, I want to do this very specific thing. It was, I wanted to buy more records. And so this year, I don't know how many I brought in, but you saw, if you watched my, like the video when I came back from Chicago, you probably saw how many records I brought in from that trip. I brought even more out throughout the year. And so I kind of come a little bit of a record collector. But because of my journey on YouTube, I already knew that I needed to do it in a sustainable and responsible way, because I could have really gotten ahead of myself and like did too much and like started buying out of my means. Now I did buy a couple records that were out of print this year, and those were a little more expensive, but again, I did it in a sustainable and responsible way. And my record collection grew quite a bit this year, and I'm very proud of that. And it's like a very me collection. Like, I didn't want to feel pressured to, feel like my collection, to be considered a valid record collection, needed to have like records that people think are important, even though like I might not think they're important. Because like I think that can happen sometimes when you start doing something. It happened with me with beauty, right? It happened with me where I was like, oh, because everyone says you need this thing, you need this thing. Like, I don't need a Pink Floyd album. I don't need a Pink Floyd album to prove that I like good music. Like, and that's okay. People are allowed to love, Pink Floyd and enjoy their music. And my record collection is allowed to be a Kate Bush album, but also all 3 of the Spice Girl albums. Like, my collection is allowed to look different, but my collection is still valid. And I have been really enjoying collecting records this year. Like, that has been like a true, genuine joy. And listening to them, and, on the weekends when I have the time with a cup of coffee and just really, enjoying my time with my records has been just such a treat. It just has been. And I know that's like a weird thing to think about at the end of the year, especially because I really didn't talk about it much on my channel, but I'm very proud of what I had done. Like, it's my little queer, beautiful mostly women record collection is like, it grew, and it is very important to me, and I like love it. I love it so much. And then personally this year in October, I got to see an old friend that I hadn't seen in years and years and years. And that I can't tell you how grateful I am that somehow that happened, after the Delta scare had like died down, but before the Omicron had come to visit. So that was like a very special moment this year to like reunite with my friend Ben and getting to meet his partner Brandy. Like, incredible. So what I'm gonna do is take this light blue shimmer and put that right where I cut the crease. I just wanted the contrast of that like blue to really like show. I also have done a lot of personal growth this year. I'm not gonna get too into it on here, but I learned that I know how to set boundaries, and I know how to enforce those boundaries, but also know when to release a boundary, which I think is a very difficult thing to do. Over the course of this year with the same person, I cut them out of my life. When I cut them out of my life, I told them I was cutting them out of my life, and I told them why I was cutting them out of my life. And I told them for them if they were interested being back in my life, that I needed to see A, B, and C thing happen. And we didn't talk for a few months, and then I heard from them and I learned that they did a lot of the things that I said I needed them to do for them to be in my life again. Now, I don't know if they did those things because they wanted to be in my life again, or if they were just taking what I said to heart, like knowing that like I was correct in setting the boundaries in the way that I did. And I took a chance being vulnerable, opening myself back up to them, because it was very possible that I could have gotten hurt again as well by associating with them. And so far, so good. And that has been a true delight. So, okay, now I'm going to put on primer, and we're going to do this one. We're working with some full coverage matte situations, so I want to try the Glowy Makeup Serum from Laneige. If you're new here, this is something that was in my collection that I didn't give a lot of attention to. Like, I didn't know about it, and I fell in love with it because of this project. So this particular item is like this is like what the project is all about. Quick aside about the project that this is the last video in. I'm very interested to see how this foundation lays on this. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good because it has only been good thus far. But I will be using the NARS Soft Matte foundation in the shade Salzburg. It's too dark for me, I know. So if you thought you were going to be smart and sound off in the comments, no need. I know. And you know what's so funny is that this was the first foundation that I used in the project back on the first, so it's kind of funny that it is where we're ending. That was a big learning curve and something that I learned about myself this year, and that's been very cool. Full disclosure is I have often operated in my life in my first 30 years in a way where I was like, if they don't make the cut, then that's it. And then they're not part of my life and I don't need them in my life. And well, I think that's a really good way to protect yourself sometimes. And sometimes it is necessary. I also wasn't aware, like I didn't think that I could also be open to like being around these people that I've cut out again. I will tell you this, like my relationship with this person is like better than it ever was. So, that's really good. And it makes me open to, in the future, if someone that I have like cut out. There's a lot of people that aren't in my life anymore, but like it was like a gradual design, but I keep them out of my life too. Situations that go on. So I am creating a space where I will be more open and less cynical about why people want to talk to me because I think that's also like part of my problem. But also did a lot of personal discovering about myself. Like I came out as non-binary this year, and it was a big deal. It's also been, I feel like I'm still learning about myself as a non-binary person. Like, if you go watch the video, I'll link it in the description. If you go watch, like, the original video where I come out, I say that I don't care about my pronouns. You can use any pronouns for me. And then I learned that, no, that's not true. So, like, I came out and continued to be adaptable, and I have a very loving support group around me who like was there for me every step of the way as I've been on this journey, like discovering myself as a non-binary person. And that has been a big relief in my life. I don't know. It's so like, talking about this for just a little bit of a second, like I've always clearly not been like traditionally masculine, like as an AMAB person. And I just like didn't think that me exploring gender in a way that's beyond expressive was important to me. And I found out that it very much was. And so I'm a little baby at this point. I give a lot of credit to younger people who they kind of did a lot of groundwork for me, and I learned a lot from them. So that was very cool. Another big moment, I was like, I went through my camera roll and posted on my Instagram stories today. So I'm recording this on the 30th. But I went through my Instagram and I like posted a bunch of stuff that happened this year, and I talked to Marina directly this year. Marina is my favorite music artist of all time, and I got a meet and greet and I got to talk to her, and it was amazing. And so like that's something I think very fondly on from this year. I'm using the Diamond and Blush palette from Natasha Denona for my cheeks today. I'm just taking the cream pink and I'm laying groundwork. I will put the powder on top of it later. It's not that I forgot that happened. It just like is still so surreal in my brain that like I was able to speak to her. She was like, "Do you have any questions for me?" And I was like, "No, I just wanted to say hi." Like honestly, we did talk about something though. But it was one of those things where like I did film it, but I filmed it for me. I didn't film it to show off really. Like I did post the part where I posted the part where she comes onto camera for the first time and like we make eye contact for the first time. And so like that one I share with the world, but like the other 5 minutes I like haven't shared with the world. But it's from me, and that was like a really, really wonderful little moment. I'm gonna powder my under eyes. I'm gonna use dim light for the rest of my face today. I think that's the move that I want to be making. Another big moment this year. This is like actually very important, and that like, of course, I would like to discuss it with you. So I've talked a lot about Tiffany even throughout like messmas and how important she is to me. When Tiffany has always wanted to have children, and we weren't sure if it was going to happen. And so when it happened this year, it was like a very big blessing. But this was actually very well discussed in our relationship with each other, me and Tiffany. Update. The Rodial contouring powder, it's canceled. I emailed them. I like sent them like a help. Like I sent in like a question to them. Yeah, they've discontinued it. But it's okay. I still have this. I'm going to work through this. And then I have other contouring powders that I can work through. It all works out the way it needs to. I'm not a big fan of kids. And my track record with friends who have babies isn't great because I tend to move apart. And some of it's like obviously like a natural, we're in very different phases of our lives. Like I'm not taking care of a child that isn't like, that's not something that I have to do on the day to day. But it's always been weird. Like my friends who have had, oh my God, why am I not making a bigger deal about what's happening right now? I've always grown apart from my friends who have had children. This is the last time I'll be using the Burberry Warm Glow #1. After today, it will be decluttered from my collection, which has been a long time coming, and we've talked about it ad nauseum. If you've been here, if you're new here, well, now you know. This has been with me for the past like 5 to 6 years, and I've never hit pan on it, and it's just time to say goodbye to it. It's just an older product. It's not that it doesn't work, but I don't want to keep it sitting in my drawer just being unused and being looked over for other bronzers. Still a great product, not even made anymore, so don't you worry your pretty little heads that it's not something you can get anymore. I'm trying to bronze down my neck because I know how much of a different color my face is currently. While Tiffany was pregnant, we did a lot of learning and growing with each other, trying to figure out. I'm using now the pink, I'm using the powder blush. I'm just putting that over top of where we put the cream. I forgot to lay down the glow cream. I'm gonna tap that on top here really quick. Tiffany and I, this was something I had expressed to Tiffany before she got pregnant. And it was something that we were very concerned about. And I think through Tiffany's pregnancy, our like friendship only ever grew stronger. And now that Gideon's here, while our relationship has morphed a little, because it had to, and I think both Tiffany and I are like very aware that it was something that we knew was going to happen and it had to happen. I'm not afraid about our friendship in general, which is something that I was very fearful of whenever this journey was beginning for us. That has been very exciting, and also just proves to me that I am more valuable to, like, I am more valuable as a friend to Tiffany than I was to any of my friends in the past who had kids as I knew them. And that's okay. Like, we all, you know, I've said that before. I said this before on my channel. Like, you grow out of relationships with people and it's okay. But often, more times than not, whenever a baby has been introduced while I've been friends with someone, it just means that I'm on my way out of that person's life. And it's nice to know that that doesn't have to be the case. It was nice to go to concerts again this year. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that. Okay, so on a much smaller scale, we will be doing the same thing with blue on the bottom. This is gonna be like a much larger eye look than I typically do. I'm a little nervous about the new year. I have a couple concerts I'm supposed to go to. I feel like they are probably gonna get like either postponed or canceled, which I don't want, but at least I got a few in, you know, while I could this year. And so then I'm gonna go into a slightly darker blue. And then even with a smaller brush, I'm going into like this dark, like very dark navy. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this like highlight shade and just kind of just toss it in the inner corner. I think that's it for complexion. I am gonna throw on mascara, a little bit of black eyeliner, spray my face, and then I'll be back. So I did throw a little bit of a blue glitter on there. I was like, there's like a little something something that I need. And I think this glitter is gonna give it to me. And I think it did. Like, I mean, it's not a lot, but it's just a little bit of, when the light hits it, it hits it right. This is Future Femme from Pat McGrath. I don't know if that's the right move for the lip, but I think that's just where I'm gonna leave it. Okay. Do I have anything else to reflect on this year? Like, I'm sure I do, but I felt like that was a really good time capsule of like what's visible and what's available on here, but also like being a little bit vulnerable and opening up a little bit. Here's the final look. This is the final look of Messmas. If I had planned accordingly, I probably wouldn't have ended on this palette, if I'm being honest, if I'm being quite frank. I'm gonna zoom you in so you can see the skin. Taking the eye. Do we like this eye? I can't figure out if I like it. I think it's an interesting concept. I don't know if like today was the day where I like did it, you know, did it the best. But the primer worked really well with this foundation. I think this is the most luminous that this foundation has ever looked, because I mean, it is matte. The cheek. Oh, that bronzer. It's the last time you're going to see it on my face. Oh, the glitter. Little zhuzh. I don't know. I think I kind of like this clean lip with like such a heavy eye. That was the final look of Messmas. But as we always do in these videos, let's reflect on everything I've used today. The Muerte palette from Melt. It's such a delight to use. It is a difficult color story. I mean, if you're singularly using this palette and you want to use the red and the blues, I think that's like a little bit challenging. Not that they're going to cancel each other out, but you're going to get like purple if you kind of like mix them together. And it's like very deep, which I really like. I don't know. This feels like something that might not be long for my collection, but in my roundup video about this, which is not this, we're not reflecting about my Messmas project in this video. That's not what we're doing. But in that video, the one that is yet to come, I think I know what I want to do with this, and we'll talk more about it then. But it was fun to use today. I think I came up, I don't know, I kind of like the concept I came up with. The only thing that I like am missing is I wish there was a red shimmer. There's like 2 shimmery blues, because if there was a red shimmer, I would have done on the bottom lash line, like a line of red going up this, like I did on the top with the blue. But I wasn't afforded such luxuries with this palette. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the box. It's the last one going in the box. The Glowy Makeup Serum made this foundation look really good, which is only good. Like, we really appreciate that, because this foundation, I really like it. Sometimes it's hit or miss whenever I put it on the skin, and I think that this really made this look really fantastic today. So Glowy Makeup Serum, continuing to impress me. Salzburg, the NARS Soft Matte Foundation, again, not my match, but a beautiful full coverage soft matte foundation. I still agree. I still agree with my decision to keep this. It's looking good. She looks good today. Same thing with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. Looks really good today. Did what I needed to do. These two play so well together. The Diamond Blush Palette. I like this more and more every time I've used it. I really do. Like, I just think the pink isn't too pink. I feel like the Westman Atelier pink blush is like too pink. I actually think I'm really coming around to the pink in here, because it's like subtle, especially when you put the highlight on top of it. Like, there's not even much pink that you can see because of the amount of highlight I put on it. And I really like the highlighters in here. I like both highlighters. The only thing I probably won't use that much is this, but definitely could be like an eye topper. It does, if you're familiar with Hannah Louise Poston's content, this does feel like something that Hannah Louise Poston would really enjoy on her eye. This isn't the kind of eye look that like this would warrant putting on, or I would just throw it on just as an example. But really have come around to this throughout this project, and I'm glad that I got to use it today. I also had pulled this out, but I didn't end up using it today. This is the Pat McGrath Labs Lapis Luxury Single Shadow. Stellar shade, but didn't really fit the fantasy that I was putting together on my eye. I feel like this eye is really effective from a like side profile. So the Burberry bronzer is officially out. She's out. She's decluttered. Oh, but it's time. It's time. What a beautiful, I honestly, like, the bronze is pretty good today. So she did a really good job on her last hurrah. And we thank her for her service for the past 6 years. And Love Potion from Pat McGrath. What I'm learning about these milkier shades, I really don't like them when I first put them on. And then once they've sit on my lips for a little bit, I like them a lot more. And I kind of like that this, you know, there's some blue sparkles in here that are playing off the blues in my eye look. And I think that is fantastic. Oh, and the Slayfire gel is Cerberus. Slayfire Glitters. This is the blue that I have on that I put down here just real quick. So that was the last roundup of the project. This has been an incredible amount of work. I have, every day this month, I have been filming something, and then when I'm done filming, immediately editing something, whether it was the thing I just filmed or something that I had filmed a couple days ago. It has challenged me as a makeup artist, in my artistry, but also in my technical skills by being adaptable and seeing what I could make work for me and what I couldn't, and just it really did help me get to know my collection so much. Like, we're not even done with this project really, because there is that retrospective, and I expect more things to get decluttered, sharing more revelations I've had with you in that video. I'm not going to be able to eloquently do them here. Like, I've actually been like writing out all my thoughts about this project for that video. It's going to be a doozy of a video. It's going to be very long, but it'll be worth it. And I think that this project deserves like a wrap up that is as epic as doing the project was. So in this moment, I am feeling an immense amount of relief. I understand that I still have to edit this video for tomorrow, but I'm done with the filming part, which means I can put all my stuff away. I told myself I wasn't gonna cry, but I don't know. I probably will cry when I'm done recording. Not just out of the sense of accomplishment, and just, I'm exhausted. This was really, really rough. Okay, so before I sign off, before I leave you with my final, this is my final video of the year too. So before I leave you for the year, and I'll be back very soon. I'm not taking like January off. I'll be back the first week of January. So I'm not taking kind of an extended break. I already have videos. I haven't started recording them, but I have the next 3 videos that I plan to do in the new year all set to go. A lot of setup for the next year, so be on the lookout for those videos. But if you are someone who has been here for all 31 days of Messmas as a viewer in real time, and even if you're watching my back catalog, if you are coming back and watching this in progression and you've watched all of the 31 videos, I just want to say thank you so much. Beyond the project being incredibly tough to produce, like record and produce and make this content daily, I would have lost all motivation if we weren't exploring my collection together and like I wasn't hearing from you. And you guys have provided a lot of insight and an amazing feedback and been very helpful for me. And like I will ask you questions and you will answer them. And when I'll be like looking at a product, I'm like, does this look funny? Because I think it looks funny. And like, because sometimes, you know, it's a trick of the eye. And when I zoom you in, like we've really been on our journey together. And I appreciate you so much, especially because this project made me lose subscribers. And so if no one was commenting on my videos and no one was saying that they liked this series and like was letting me know that this was helping them get through their December, I don't know what would have happened. I really don't. So I do want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart. I really, really appreciate you. If you are new here and this was the first video you watched in Messmas, there's a playlist in the description box below. You can start at day 1, get yourself caught up, and then we'll talk together in that retrospective. And so why don't you subscribe so you can see all the content I'm posting in the new year? We'll be talking about new releases. We're going to be on a budget. There's a lot to come, mama. As like my pasty white hand goes against my like super yellow bronzed face. Don't forget to like, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed spending time with me today. And don't forget that I'm on Patreon if you want to support me there. That's going to be a big help to me in the next year. And remember to follow your hote and you will find me. Happy New Year, everyone. I can't wait to spend more time with all of you in 2022. Celebrate safely tonight. I love you. I will see you when I see you. Bye, friends.